Hello there. Batavia Mayor Jeff Schielke speaking to you on Friday, July 2nd, 2021. And obviously by the date I've just stated, we are 2 days away from the Batavia 4th of July fireworks program in honor of our nation's birthday. This year will be either, depending on how you count things, it'll either be the 70th, the 71st, and some people say the 72nd show. It started in 1950, and you can do the math in your head from there. But we will be, we didn't have a show last year, so that gets, I guess you subtract one, so I guess I'm of the opinion this is maybe the 71st minus one, but we'll see. It doesn't really make any difference. The show is going to start at the, on West Main Street at Engstrom Park, right across the street from the Batavia High School football field, at approximately 9:30 p.m. that evening, and it's going to be fired by the same folks who have been firing our shows now for a number of years, so it's all professionally done. The actual fireworks, as I understand it, we don't light them with the fuse anymore, we fire them via computer. And they have a really nice show made up. It's going to have some music with it, and I think it will be very, very memorable. Given the pandemic of last year, which caused us to close the show and not have it last year, we sense there is kind of a pent-up demand in the community, or wish in the community, to go to this show and enjoy it and see it. So we're of the opinion that we're going to have quite a large crowd, maybe one of the largest we've ever had if the weather continues to cooperate and we don't get rained out. That's not in the forecast at the moment. So I invite you all to come. It's a Batavia show, and the thing that I'm most proud of is the fact that I can sit here today and report to you that for 71 years, the city of Batavia residents, not the city government, but the residents, have raised each and every dime that was used to purchase the fireworks in the show. And the city's never spent any tax dollars on buying fireworks. We've funded this thing with Bud Richter being the first kind of chairman of it as fire chief back in 1950. He and the late Harold Peterson came up with the idea to put this on as a way to keep people off the highways and the dangerous travel times that were back in the day, when they used to express that there was a lot of people involved in accidents on Memorial Day, the 4th of July, and Labor Day each year. And Harold Peterson said to Bud Richter, "Why don't we do something to keep people at home in Batavia?" And you know, it seems to have worked. We have huge crowds. The police department tells me that when this show ends, approximately 10 o'clock at night, for about the next hour or so, we have what they describe as the largest traffic jam in Batavia each and every year. We know no other time do we have the volume of cars and going in all these different directions from the high school area as we do on that night. So if you go, you should certainly be prepared to wait a few minutes, either to get in your car and wait or get out of there, or if you walk, it may be, hopefully it's a nice night, you can walk and not have to worry about the traffic. But there will be a lot of traffic. We bring out most of the police department to come in and help out on that night, and it is a memorable thing. I think the United States of America has a lot to be proud of. We have some great history in this world, and I think it's a nice way to remind ourselves of the virtues and the goodness of America. We spend a lot of time these days speaking of all the bad things, and I think we should be showing our patriotism and our love of country and celebrate its birthday in a very special way, because America is a great and grand place for us all to live and proudly call our home. So please come on out. I'll be there. I'll do the introduction at the very beginning, right before 9:30. We'll have just a few minutes of speeches. And prior to the beginning of the fireworks, about 8 p.m., the Batavia Community Band, under John Heath's able command and direction, is going to walk in and put on about a 45-minute concert of patriotic music and enjoyable, recognizable music that everybody, we think, will enjoy. And as many of you know, this band is made up by Batavia-based musicians who were looking for some way to kind of keep their talents tuned and their abilities to perform and entertain people. So we now have well over 30 people in the band, and they're there to put on a show. Nobody gets paid for any of that. It's all a volunteer effort. So I appreciate the good efforts of that group in offering up Batavia as a special treat. And we also have some other surprises online that they'll be announcing. And so we've got a lot of talent in Batavia, and this is one great way we can share it and show it and display it. So Batavia is a very, very fortunate community. And so we have a lot to be thankful for and to celebrate ourselves. And so please join us out at Engstrom Park. You can go in there, or you can park over at the high school and use the fields there, or you can park in one of the many commercial shopping centers along Randall Road. And I've never done it, but I'm told by a number of people that they sit there and watch it because it's all in the sky. There's no ground display, and you'll be able to see and watch the whole thing and get a full understanding of just what the show's all about. So please plan to come and be part of the whole thing. Some other community announcements I'd like to just make mention of. Patty Vasquez and Bob J., who are a couple of recognizable regional communities. Patty was on WGN radio for a number of years, and Bob J. has appeared in Las Vegas many times, and it was voted the best new impressionist in Las Vegas a few years ago. They're going to put on a comedy show on July 17th at the Batavia Moose Lodge at 1532 South Batavia Avenue, and the price of the tickets is $10 a person. And they're going to put on a show of comedy, and all the money raised by this show will be donated to the Batavia Access Toy Drive, which is the program we do each December in which we buy and distribute toys to needy families in the greater Batavia area. And this is all, again, a charitable effort. Nobody's being paid to do anything on this one. And I just want to, again, encourage people who would like to come and see the show. Please feel free to come on down to the Batavia Moose Lodge, and you better get a ticket in a hurry, though. I am told they are selling pretty rapidly. So again, and they will be tickets for sale at the door. So that's one final way that you can get yourself in. So Batavia's got that going, and we have a lot happening. One thing I would like to just take a moment before I end, though, and share with you the number of times in recent weeks that the city of Batavia has risen to the occasion and has responded resources to our neighboring communities, both far and wide, at moments when they were in deep, deep trouble. And one of the more lengthy rides that we got ourselves into, we responded along with most other fire departments in Kane County to Rockton, Illinois, a couple of weeks back when they had that huge, large fire in the grease factory. And they were there for multiple days, and there was a lot of issues and firefighting that were involved in that. And they needed relief crews to come to Rockton and just sit by in their fire stations and keep control of everything. So various divisions of the Mutual Aid Box Alarm System of Illinois, of which we are a proud member, sent their resources. So Kane County was asked to have each department send some equipment and manpower. So we all gathered together, I believe, out near Elburn, and then the group caravanned out 88 to 39 and then up to the Rockton exit just before the Wisconsin border. And I have some pictures that somebody sent me that show all the Kane County fire trucks sitting inside the Rockton station with all of our firemen sitting outside the station on chairs waiting for the next call to come in. So I just use that as an illustration of how we go near and far to help our neighbors in times of need. And I can't say enough, because goodness knows if we ever need a whole bunch of help, I know there's all kinds of resources available to us, as we proved in the adventure that we went on in Rockton. Next, as you know, we had a tornado that kind of flew over the southwest side of Batavia. Fortunately, it did not come down on the ground. But I was talking to Mark Davis, our ESDA director, yesterday, and he was telling me about watching the radar as I was watching the radar. We were in different locations, and we both saw the same thing of what was a rotation in the clouds above Batavia, starting out at Caneville and coming in Main Street and then meandering down, and it got to about Bliss Road, and the rotation kind of turned and went south. And he and I joked it looked like it went over about the intersection of Deer Path Road and Hickory Lane, and then ventured on onto North Aurora territory. And when that happened, several of the TV stations who were then broadcasting alerts noted that there was a tornado in the sky above the north end at North Aurora. And we think that was potentially the same tornado that jumped the Fox River, went over into DuPage County, and came down on the ground over on 75th Street in Naperville. And so after that happened, there was a lot of damage done over there. So the next day and the day after that, the Batavia Public Works was dispatched with trucks, and we went over to Woodridge and spent 2 days with the Public Works Department there, helping them clean up damaged buildings and trees and clearing out streets and whatever have you. So I'm very, very pleased to note that. And then in the third arm of the city of Batavia, the police department, I can report to you that the recent incident up in St. Charles, where there was a shooting at a nightclub out near the intersection of Route 38 and Randall Road, late at night, early in the morning, which at least one subject was killed and several were wounded. The Batavia Police Department responded with our investigative team, and I'm led to believe that, according to the chief, we had people up there for 2 or 3 days assisting St. Charles in what turned out to be an intensive investigation because of the number of people who were in some way, shape, or form involved. And so, again, on the public works, the fire, and the police side, we've been out helping our neighbors, and I'm very, very pleased to report that because I think it speaks well for the mutual aid and the ready assistance that we have and the great talents and resources that are available to all of us should something, God forbid, happen here that needs a lot of extra help. Government's working at this level. I have a lot of people complain to me they don't think government's working at some of the levels above us. And I'm not going to get into those arguments, but I can assure you that at the city we're here doing what we are supposed to be doing. And we thank all of you for your continued support and praise that you send to us for the various deeds and services that we provide, because we are the government that's closest to the people. We're the ones that are respond at your phone call or your request for assistance. And I think at the end of the day, local government's really what it's all about, because it really is the heart and soul and the blood veins that move things around and solve problems and keep people going and make the world a greater and grander place as time moves forward. So with that, I'll end this week's call. Hope to see many of you out on 4th of July. I've had several people tell me, well, they may come, but they've been invited by other people to come to their house, so maybe they'll pick up that invitation, maybe they won't. But it'll be great to see some fun and pretty and recognizable faces out there of Batavians. And if you would be so kind, could you make a donation out there? That will help us start to build a pot for next year's show and make sure that we continue on this tradition of Batavia paying for its fireworks from funds outside of tax money. So again, have a great 4th of July weekend, and I look forward to seeing a lot of you out at the fireworks show on Sunday evening. Take care.